everyone! I am Tacit and welcome to the Yellow Tower of Doom event, week 27, day 1. So this is that one event that comes once every year, pretty much. No, it's not that rare. It sure feels like it though. I think they might have made it slightly more frequent this patch. We don't actually know yet, but we'll find out if we see like a weekend Tower of Doom midway through the season next season. That's something they mentioned they would do in the past, and I think they slightly mentioned they might be doing it this patch. I have no clue. We'll find out after like week 5 or 6 or 7 of the campaign. If we don't have a Tower of Doom weekend event by then yeah, it's probably not happening. But yeah, Tower of Doom currently only once every 11 weeks, which is very long between Tower of Dooms. So it takes forever to get all those scrolls. It already was pretty bad as far as how it was scaled, even when it was once a month. However, now it is once every 11 weeks, which yeah, makes it pretty infrequent, to say the least. So as far as Tower of Doom, basically just have to report to your guild what all the proper rooms are and go from there. And pretty straightforward. You just have someone scout forward, get all the better rooms scouted out, and then you go do those rooms, the rest of the guild. And gosh, you're already to 30. We might almost already have all the rewards. However, this is one weird event, or not really weird, but it's one of the few events that not only requires communication, but also requires you to actually do it, because you do keep getting rewards all the way up to floor 25th completion. So basically, once this is floor 26, we know we have claimed every reward. However, prior to then, even if we have all the rewards from the stages, we still keep going, because we get an extra light scroll every single time, which will give us 25 light scrolls, one per floor all the way to 25th completion. And then once we hit 26, we're finally done. So even if this says tomorrow that we're done, we're not done until that says 26 or higher. And of course, we got the new weapon though. Nothing really too special about the weapon, but it costs 500 gems if you want to go pick it up, and it helps your guild get the everything done. Anyways, as far as our initial team, we're probably just going to grab the cheaper yellow team and just one-shot everything because we can. And then we'll switch to a little bit more of a real team once we get a bit deeper. Though realistically, we actually can run this team the entire time. If we so choose, though we'll probably switch it up a little bit at some point, but we might run it all the time, we'll see. So hastes are optional if you can take. The guild still reports them. However, it is not required to take them. They give you slightly more sigils. They give you your sigil back, which might seem like you're getting nothing. However, it moves you closer to getting... also, why is the text overlapping each other? I might need to make the text smaller. It's overlapping a lot. We can still kind of see where they are. Not sure why the other one's overlapping so much, though. It's breaking the text. But anyways, yeah, haste we could technically skip. It does move you closer to a more sigils. However, us buying tier 4 is way more than enough for us to get all the way to 25. Not today, of course, but throughout the week. So we should already be good to go and not need those extra little bit of sigils here and there. So we're probably just going to be skipping every single one of the hastes. So they are better to take early on than they are later on. So like the first 10 floors. So if you're going to take them at any point, those are generally the times you want to take them. However, I am seeing a couple of fireballs around. Do we have any heroisms? Not seeing any heroisms though. Heroism's really good. Oh, there's a heroism. Because it allows you to basically skip the whole floor, which is pretty nice. You still have to do any important rooms, like if there's a fireball in the room though. Yeah, I'm only seeing one heroism. Couple fireballs. Okay, anyways, let's go start from the top. So we got to go do room number 3. Unless we want to take 2 real quick. You know what? We'll take a couple of the hastes. Might as well. So let's go put in our team. Just a bunch of Vanesses. And we'll go take the first several hastes. Might as well. But anyways, hello everyone! Hello NASA, hello Alex, hello Bill, hello Logic Slayer, hello Cookie, hello Defiant, hello Stradium's Cat, hello Isabel, and hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's go take that. So, how did you guys do in the Gnome event? Our course ended at this point. Good, he didn't drain the important ones. Oh yeah, we got Uber Skulls as well. They appear here too. Even here. Okay, we did the haste, and I believe 3 was the other one. Yep, let's go grab that. That's the unlock. Of course, you have to find the unlock every time. The only time you wouldn't need to do the unlock is if you have a heroism, because it kind of skips over having to do that. The heroism pretty much skips over having to do pretty much everything, except for if there's a special room you have to take. You still have to take it, like if there's a power or lucky or anything else that you might want. You do still have to go and take it for it to count. However, as far as completing out the floor, if the only thing that you have to do is the unlock and the floor completion, you can simply just use a heroism and skip both, which ends up working out pretty well. Alright, nothing else we need to do on this floor, so we can simply move on. Nice. Got a solid dozen there, or baker dozen. I'll take that, and I will kill. Unfortunately, the yellow did not cascade, but this will just double poke. And one nice thing about the Doom Scythe, as well as all the Doom weapons, is they do gain a benefit up against the Doom, so we end up getting those extra Doom Skulls, so not really, they can come into play occasionally, but definitely nice to have a little bit of extra damage, if nothing else. One interesting interaction that does allow for these AoE weapons is you don't actually need to have alignment to still have alignment. So normally when you would be using one of these Doom weapons that convert into something, all the Doom Skulls, you would need to make sure you specifically have alignment before you use it. However, you don't actually have to do that with this because it ends up creating 5 additional Doom Skulls. So even if you don't have alignment, those 5 additional Doom Skulls could give you alignment, and they occur after the conversion, so they're not going to replace any of your conversion ones either, which ends up working out pretty nice. I guess we'll take the heroisms for the first 10 floors or so. We normally don't. I mean the haste, I mean. We always take heroism. But we'll take the haste for the first 10 floors or so. The earlier you take them, the better they are, in the sense that they're quicker, so you don't waste as much time. I can just doom him. There we go. Nice solid AoE damage. What hero class am I even using with that? I would assume... Oh no, I was going to say Archmagus. No, I can't be because we have to use Stormcaller, duh. Because we need the Yellow Storm. Hey, we got a haste on 2, and then we have the 3. Isn't that the same rooms we just had to do for floor 1? Well, let's go again. Let's say hello, Daddy Shark. Hello, DS. Hello, the Stat. Hello, David. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 1,000,000 souls. That's a lot of souls. I normally don't keep track of souls in Glory. I probably should at some point during the event, because you can get a lot of them over the course of the event. Normally we just keep track of all keys and everything related to that. Let's see, 2 and 3. There was 2 events where we kept track of literally every loot. That was a while back though. It's just it's really time consuming to keep track of literally every drop. It's the only problem with that. That's why we don't do it every single time. Because that's a lot of things to keep track of. Most of which are mostly irrelevant. There are a few interesting ones to keep track of, like how many gem keys we get, how many event keys, how many diamonds, how many gold, how much souls, glory. But if we start doing too many at once, it's gonna be so time consuming to track them all. I normally just leave it at vault keys, since they're one of the rare ones anyways. And the main thing you're generally looking for. I probably should have hit him. That was a mistake. Because now we have to cast again. If we would have done that to begin with, he would have already been dead. Click any other tab on menu, go back, it'll fix it. Are you sure? I think it has to do with the size of the text. Because if I go and switch it to medium, it'll probably fix it. But if I switch it back to large, it'll probably break it again. It has more to do with the size of the text. But yeah, it's a glitch with the size of the text, not with anything else. I guess we'll have to go with medium then, because medium doesn't seem to be glitched. But if we set it to medium, there's no issue. But if we set it to large, it overlaps itself sometimes. Where were we? Haste and 3 to move on. So 4 and 3. Do you think... Oh, so hello, Jonas. Do you think that the next campaign will follow the rhythm from the last one with less restrictions? I sure hope so. However, we will have to deal with the lycanthropy gem the entire time, so that's technically more of a restriction. Because lycanthropy gem is probably going to be the most annoying thing that has ever existed. Get ready for the next 10 weeks after this week. I'm pretty sure they might adjust it to some degree. Because it is going to be so absurdly annoying when lycanthropy gems drop. Not necessarily the troops that do it, but just the passive effect of them happening on literally every single battle you ever do for 10 weeks straight. Including Guild Wars. And factions and everything. Though in factions, it actually could help. If you get transformed into a random beast because the enemy took a lycanthropy, that could actually help you. Because that beast could potentially be better than whatever the faction has, which would be kind of funny. So in that particular instance, actually wouldn't be as annoying, though it still could be, because the transform off a lycanthropy likely counts still as a death for factions, because all other transforms do unless they coded it differently. And if that is the case, that's going to make deathless a little bit harder. So killing them quickly will probably fix that issue. So that's a bit of a big miss, so it's not really going to matter. Unlike in Delves, if something dies here, they come back the really next battle. So not really that big a deal if we lose pretty much our entire team. As long as we win, it doesn't matter how many troops we lose. Alright, we got a power and a lucky on the same floor. That's pretty lucky. A 2 and a 3. And what was the other one? Where'd it go? There it is. 2, 3, 4. We're learning how to count upwards. Are you sure it'll be horrible? You like the new... I think power gems will be good. I think specifically lycanthropy gems will be bad. I like the concept of power gems. I just hate the concept of lycanthropy. Like, the concept of power gems is going to be really good. But not so much lycanthropy itself. They chose, like, one of the worst possible gems in existence to ever do as the very first power gem. Well, I guess technically Uberdoom Skull is the first power gem in a sense. Which that one's perfectly fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that one. But lycanthropy gem. That's going to be a problem. But we still technically don't know what it does, so we'll have to wait and see. It's pretty obvious what it will likely do. Apply lycanthropy to a random enemy. Or, you know, whoever takes it applies it to a random enemy. But, I also have to see what it actually does. Because there's a small chance that's not actually what it does. Let's see. We took the 3, and now we take the 4. I'm not sure why I always like to check. Just to make sure I don't accidentally do the wrong room. We have done the wrong room on occasion, though it's very rare. It's not really too big a deal. You basically just waste a sigil. And you generally have enough sigils to get the event done. If everyone in your guild does tier 4s. So wasting a few sigils generally doesn't matter. Especially if we're taking all the hastes. Alright, that's all the rooms. So should I go double check one last time? Always like checking. Oh, we're good to go. We don't have the Beast Exploder weapon yet, do we? I hope we get that this season. I'm actually not sure if we do. But that'd be a really good weapon to come out this season. We don't currently have it, do we? I don't think we do. A 2-color weapon that does a bunch of explosions that gives a positive stats effect to all beasts and then summons a random beast. I don't think that exists yet. It will exist at some point, though I don't think it currently exists. Hopefully it comes this season. We can actually go check. We're getting the Wild Plains one this weekend. However, I'm pretty sure we don't have the Beast one yet. I don't recall it coming out. Let's see. Terran's World. I think the best one we have so far is like the Elemental one. Weapons. Control Find Beasts. Oh, hold up. What does this do? Explode Magic. Wait. Is it actually coming next week or in 17 days? Explode Magic +1 green gems. Give a random... Yeah, there it is. I found it. Hey, they actually added a good weapon at a good time. Though we have to wait till June 4th. So it's not coming immediately at the beginning of the season. We're getting this one this weekend. But the first new weapon of next season is... which you obtain, I think, from an invasion event. Is exactly what I just said. Perfect. It's a yellow-purple. And it explodes a bunch of gems, specifically green. Gives a positive stats effect to all beasts, and summons a random beast. This will probably be very good because of lycanthropy. Cool. Okay, so that's around the corner. That's exactly what I was referring to. Yeah, it's coming at the beginning of June. First weapon of next season. It's not from the season pass, though. I believe it's from Invasions. How many beasts are immune to lycanthropy? Or any? There's a couple undead beasts, I think. I don't believe there's that many. Let's see. Wait, does Impervious have the word lycanthropy on it too? Okay, so this is showing all Imperviouses as well. So that's not that many. In total, there's only 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14. Of those 14, one. There's one. There's one single troop with lycanthropy that isn't useless. I guess technically a few more if you count like Corpse Mirror, this thing, Pen maybe. But there's one. There's a total of one beast with immune to lycanthropy that isn't nearly useless. Corpse Mirror is mostly just used for Bounty Hunter. It's pretty bad outside of Bounty Hunter. This thing can do a bit of damage, but it's bad later in the game. Pan is not horrifically bad, though it's a bit of a clunky troop to use. RimWorld's technically not bad in the right team either. However, he transforms into something that... Oh, no, actually, the thing he transforms into also has immune to lycanthropy. So that could actually kind of be fine if you're doing like a heavy purple team. Also, I'm not sure if Purple Storm actually creates more lycanthropy gems or not. I would assume so, if it's just based on 1 in 30 or so purples onto the board. Technically, a Purple Storm would increase the chance of lycanthropy gems occurring onto the board. But anyways. But yeah, it's a very small number. Merline's like the only one that's really viable of all those with Impervious. There is not that many of them. Though we might be getting some next season. Beasts that have immune to lycanthropy. So we'll hand out a code once we get a level. I think we're close enough to get it this stream. Alright, we got a heroism and we got a 3. 2 or 3. Yep, 2, 3. But yeah, that was less beast than I thought that would have immune to. Only 16. Not counting whatever we get next season. I'm pretty sure most of them next season would have immune to it too. And just double check. Yep, 2, 3. Nice little column. Speaking of transform, is that little annoying transform on it? It's a little toad. There are actually some funny situations where in delves that transform can actually be useful for doing purifaction. The reason for this is the toad has the capability of moving the enemy team. So there are some situations where her transforming you to a toad when doing purifaction is actually beneficial, as long as it targets the right one. If anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Tower of Doom doesn't come up too often. That is for sure. It's definitely one of the more slightly complicated events, mostly because of the communication you need to do with your guild. As long as you have some kind of system to keep track of it, it's rather straightforward at that point. Yeah, theoretically, we can run Finesse the entire time if we really want to. Wouldn't be too big a deal. Especially since it does extra damage to Vow Ravens. There's quite a few battles with Pure Yellow. Yep, 2 and 3. We'll take our yellow. So we got enough mana. It just has infinite mana. Unless he mana drains us. How long will the new troop be available using the event keys? The 50% dragon start that came out this week? Oh, we need to mess with that this week. We're probably going to focus mostly on Tower of Doom tonight. But as far as that troop, it's going to be available all week. So until Monday reset next week. So you have a week to get it. 6 days and 6 more hours, basically. Is how long you have to get the new 50% mana start dragon. I don't feel like it's going to be that good due to its ability, though. Its ability is very limiting, especially since its ability does basically nothing unless you put that one useless troop onto your team, which basically means you have to use 2 slots just to give 50% mana start, and one of your other slots is probably going to be Dragon Guard, and then you really only have 1 slot for like a Mythic Dragon or something. It's pretty limiting, which is rather unfortunate, because it makes it harder to build dragon builds. I did end up getting it with 50, luckily, this time around. Though it can take a couple hundred. Depending on unluckiness. The other week it took me like 200. And Uber as well. Aw, I almost got to take a Doom Skull into an Uber Doom Skull. We haven't gotten to do that yet. And apparently we still can. Let's see, we got a 2 and a 4. Also, I think this might be the last haste we take. Theoretically, we can keep taking them, but they do start to get a little bit slower relative to their benefit. They basically just make it so you have a chance of Val Ravens. Or move you closer to getting a Val Raven, even if you don't get a Val Raven on it. Which is the whole point of taking haste. Because all it does is give you your sigil back. Yeah, Dragon Guard probably got the biggest benefit out of any dragon in the entire game. Dragon Guard's an insanely good hero class, and the main thing holding it back was the lack of 50% mana start, and now it has it. Yeah, if anything gained the biggest benefit, I'm pretty sure it's just Dragon Guard hero class. Because now it's one of the better triple damage burnings. It was already a pretty good one to begin with. Because I believe it's the only triple damage burning with Dispel, as well as the only triple damage burning with skull reduction. Which are both 2 really good things. Because there's some situations where you would need Dispel instead of Enrage. The main one being if they have Barrier spam, or just even Barrier in general. Because Enrage will not hit through Barrier, but Dispel will. What are you using for Tower of Doom? We have another team that we're going to be using a little bit later on. But I think this one could technically take us all the way. We might just go with it. It's doing what it needs to do. A little bit of a slow start this time. No, it killed the thing I wanted to stay alive, even though I was targeting it earlier. Which was counterproductive to trying to keep it alive. Just a little bit counterproductive if we're killing the thing we need alive for the extra Doom Skulls. Hereforth I'm going to skip all the hastes. Got a couple extra sigils from the ones we did do. Should be enough. Even if we took none of them, it'd still be enough. Is there a good dragon for setting opponents on fire? No. There's currently no good dragon for doing so. The closest we have is Demistroxia, which has a 75% chance of doing it. Which, of course, is not horrible, but it's not a 100% chance, which makes it a little bit inconsistent. There's actually several dragons that have that 75% thing, including that new one that came in this week with the 75% enchant. The only problem is, when you really need it most, they're going to hit that 25%, which makes it a bit inconsistent when you really need it. But yes, Demistroxia is the closest thing we have to a burning dragon, which is a pretty low-tier burner. Like, you would never use Demistroxia in any team that isn't a dragon team. Just because its burn is really inefficient compared to most options. It's one of the biggest things holding dragons back as well. You don't have a good burner. Element Grim with a good burner dragon would be pretty solid. if we got something eventually better than Demostraxia to do so. That's the main thing holding it back right now. There's a lot of things holding dragons back, though, in general. That's one of them. So much damage. We've got an Uber in there. Summer's and all that mess of skulls. Haste I'm gonna ignore. Actually, we could take literally every room. There is no wrong room on this floor. You know what? We're just gonna take them all. This will be the last haste we take. Just because we can get away with doing literally every room on the floor, so we might as well. It's very rare where you have an entire floor where every room is not horrible. So we might as well just clear the whole floor for once. Since it doesn't happen too often. Makes it easy to determine what room we need to do, if nothing else. But we need to go double check, just every floor, or every room, I mean. Okay, he's not webbed anymore. Just waiting till he's unwebbed. Oh yeah, this thing does have double tap, by the way. If there's only one enemy left, it will hit twice. Which is a pretty nice benefit. Oh yeah, why am I checking? I forgot. It's every room. Top 10 things holding dragons back, I know, right? There's a whole list of things. Though one of them is not 50% mana start anymore. But Submerge was one of the really big killers of dragons. Them not having a consistent burn, or really a consistent anything. They have good mana accumulation, though, I do have to say. They have good mana accumulation, and they have a couple okay AoEs. They also lack really good mythics. Every mythic does AoE damage, I'm pretty sure. I don't recall a single dragon mythic that isn't just an AoE option. It might have other things on top of it, but I'm pretty sure everyone's just kind of like a AoE option with a little bit extra. Like if we go to troop type dragon, we do it based on base rarity. AoE, 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 and that's all of them. All four of them. Literally all four. They're all the same thing, but different. Deal damage to all enemies, deal damage to all enemies. But basically just all different variant. Deal damage to all enemies, but there's no good burner for a dragon. Deal damage to all enemies, but then do a ridiculously high amount of inconsistent things. Deal damage to all enemies, but requires Bless to be on your allies, which he does do. But Bless has a weird interaction where when you cast, it gets Bless off of you, meaning that it's one less gem spawn they could ever do due to that interaction until they fix it, which still has not been fixed, I'm pretty sure. And AoE with a Gorgotha effect. They're all the same thing, just slightly different. And that's basically every dragon mythic. They just do damage to all enemies and have a little extra effect on top. That normally doesn't make or break much. Oh, I was gonna say, I thought that would kill. Luckily another skull came in to do it. What does luck and haste do? Luck gives you 2 doom kills. This does 2 things. It progresses your stages forward. So if you're a guild that isn't easily reaching stage 12, it makes it a lot easier to reach stage 12. And it also helps you get slightly higher on leaderboard, which normally isn't too big a deal, but if it's the difference between a little bit of gems, like for example, if we take all those luckies and we end up making top 50 instead of below top 50, well, we just got ourselves 15 gems and a single copy of the troop, which isn't really much, but hey, it's better than nothing. But yeah, the lucky just gives you more doom kills, 2 doom kills specifically for taking a lucky, which just does that, makes the leaderboard easier and makes getting to stage 12 easier. And haste, all haste does is give you your sigil back. So it costs 1 sigil to do a room, and it gives you 1 sigil back. This might seem pointless, but it brings you closer to Valraven. Haste are definitely worth skipping. However, they do give you more Valravens. And even if they don't give you a Valraven, they're moving you closer to getting a Valraven. I normally just skip them though. We took it for the first 10 floors, but beyond that, kind of just been skipping them. If you are going to take them, the earlier you take them, the better. The problem is once you start getting super deep, they start to take more and more time to the point where it's not really worth taking them. But you still can if you really want to for the sigils. Especially if you're someone who's scouting or did some amount of scouting. Because you might need to make up for lost sigils. That's a lot of damage. Hey, where are we? Floor 12. We got a lucky and a move on. 3 and 2. Also, you normally want to take the unlock last. You don't have to take the unlock last. However, the main reason for taking the unlock last is you can't accidentally click on the final room. So if you take the unlock first, you have the option to click onto the final room and accidentally do it. But if you take the unlock last, you know that you've done all the good rooms. So you normally want to save it for last. It's not required, but it just makes sure you don't accidentally move forward when you still have a good room left. Which is why we have them in this kind of weird numerical order. Well, it doesn't really matter what order they're in, but as long as the unlock is the very last one, this is what matters. It's like right here, we had the 3 and then the 2, because the 2 is the unlock. Does anybody have a recommendation for a Android emulator for PC? I've been using BlueStacks. Yeah, I didn't end up downloading any kind of emulator like that until Puzzle Quest 3 came out. And then it's like, oh, it's only on Android? Well, time to get BlueStacks. But yeah, I've been using BlueStacks for it. It messes with my mic whenever I try recording. However, the actual gameplay itself is pretty stable. Actually, it's been more stable on BlueStacks than on my phone sometimes. Just because I have a much higher end PC than I do phone. My phone's towards the lower end, but have a good PC. So it, oddly enough, actually runs better on my PC, even though it's an emulator, which is kind of funny. It should be coming out on Steam in the next couple months, though. We'll be covering a lot more content once it actually releases. We covered a guide on it earlier on Followers. But it's a pretty fun game. They definitely need to add more content to the game, though. And it definitely needs quite a bit of rebalance that they should be working on soon. Hopefully it gets a nice patch today or tomorrow as well. Because I believe it's been out in early access for 2 months now. Of course, it's still not officially released yet. They kind of did it the same way they did Gems of War. Gems of War initially soft launched, and then eventually came out with a full launch once it came out to PC. I think Gems of War soft launched for about 2 or 3 months, and currently Puzzle Quest 3 is 2 months in, and has no signs of launching anytime soon. So it does look like it's going to be in soft launch a lot longer than Gems of War was. I'm going to skip the haste. Go straight for 5. What tower Doom team are you using, John? How's the cash shop? So far the premium currency seems pretty pointless. The battle pass also seems pretty pointless. They have a monthly subscription, which is $10 per month or $8 per month if you do it for a whole year. That seems pretty good value, but it's also pretty pricey. Because it's basically double the cost of doing Gems of War's equivalents. Because, of course, Gems of War has that one $10 bundle thingy, which is, you know, the main value thingy that you'd go for if you're doing something like that. And that basically comes out to $1 per day, per week, and $4 per month, or approximately. Whereas Puzzle Quest 3's, if you did it a year at a time, is twice that price. So a little bit pricier in that regard. But aside from that, that seems like the only microtransaction that's really worth it from what I can see. Unless they overly buffed the Battle Pass. Which, in the current state of the game, costs, I think, $10 per 2 months. Which is about the same price as Gems of Wars. Except they also have the other subscription on top of it. Though it doesn't seem like anything exclusive is in the Battle Pass, unless that's going to be the case once it launches. Of course, a lot of things are still subject to change because it's still very early in development. You could easily play the game without any microtransactions. However, similar to Gems of War, and probably like almost every free-to-play game, it has a little bit of a grind initially. But once you get past that initial grind, you kind of get a lot of loot naturally, to the point that you don't need it. Kind of like how Kingdom Tribute works in Gems of War. Once you have 9-star all Kingdom, you're getting so much tribute that theoretically you could never do another microtransaction again, and you'd probably be perfectly fine. And Puzzle Quest 3 seems to be the same way. Once you have like 6 chest slots or higher, you're pretty much good to go as far as loot is concerned in that game. And at that point, don't really need microtransactions. Microtransactions just, you know, speed things up or so. There's currently nothing that's exclusive only to microtransactions. Everything is obtainable without them. At least currently. Kind of like how Gems of War is. Though Gems of War does have some old event weapons that once were free that aren't free anymore. There's like 33 of them or 34 of them or something. That are all useless tier weapons, so it's not too big a deal. What am I looking for here? 3, 4, and 5. Everything but 2. Hello, CeeLo! Welcome. I still have high hopes for Puzzle Quest 3. Gems of War still seems like the better game, though. But Gems of War also launched pretty bare bones. Like, Gems of War today looks a lot different than Gems of War 6 years ago. Like, they're almost unrecognizable compared to each other. I feel like that's going to be Puzzle Quest 3 for the first year or two, where I feel like it's going to be a little dry on content, but after it gets past, like, that couple-year mark, it'll probably be perfectly fine once they get, like, all the other game modes in and everything. Because Gems of War didn't even have arena or traits or treasure hunt or events in any degree, or guild wars or anything like that when it launched. It was very, very basic. Like, pretty much the end goal was pretty much the end goal that is in Puzzle Quest 3 right now, where basically just do all the quest lines and then, I guess, go do some PvP. Like, it didn't really have much after that. And then they added a bunch. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let me go check that team. Oh, Valraven, don't you dare escape. There we go. Okay, let me grab that team. Well, Puzzle Quest 3 can be completed free to play if you just wanted to do it for the storyline. Also going to be streaming the entire storyline for people who don't want to bother. We'll be doing a full reading of it once it launches. There's a lot of mistypings in it currently, so we're holding off for now. But once it launches on Steam, I will be doing a reading of the entire storyline. We already completed through free to play in a single week. That was all off stream. And it wasn't with reading any of the texts. Actually, I haven't even read the storyline for Puzzle Quest 3 yet. I'll be reading it for the first time with all of you. Because I haven't actually read it yet. What I'm looking for? I'm looking for this team. Life and Death, Tulio. Oh yeah, I was thinking of using Tulio. I have in the past. I didn't this time around. Weaver and Emperor Liang. So basically spamming Life and Death and Arachne Weaver. I was considering doing that with the other team I mentioned. However, Weaver falls off a little bit later on. But otherwise it's fine. Because the deeper that goes, a little bit of an issue it'll have. Is that Weaver doesn't get as easy as a kill. Because even right now, I think 48 damage is not a kill. Oh yeah, definitely not a kill at this range. But of course, Life and Death can poke it into kill range. Oh, we do have to do this room, right? It was 5. Assuming we're on 14. We are. But yeah, I do like games that have like a set ending, but also still has content after. Like Slay the Spire did that pretty well. Even though it doesn't have much of a storyline to it, it does have a very small amount. And it does technically have a set ending once you reach true ending. But still has like so much content after that you'll have like infinite content afterwards. Let's see. Alright, we just move on. Yeah, it seems like a lot of companies are moving into the free-to-play model, which overall isn't necessarily a bad thing. I know some people like absolutely despise free-to-play games, but I really like resource management games, and pretty much every free-to-play game by design is extremely resource management heavy. So I tend to actually like them quite a bit. Though I absolutely hate energy systems with a passion, and will pretty much never play any game that's like that. When it uses energy for like the core experience of the game. Like if it's possible to do literally nothing within the game because you have no energy, like that is the absolute worst thing in any game mechanic ever. Let's see, 4 and 2. It's kind of funny because I actually don't even use any live services like Netflix or anything like that. But I still do it occasionally for games. But I don't actually partake in any actual live services. Like I would never use any Adobe services because they're so overpriced. I just use older versions of their things and they are perfectly fine. And you only pay for them once and you're good to go. And I don't use any kind of live service like Netflix or Hulu or any of the billions that are out there. Or anything like that. Let's see. 4 and 2. Yeah, I absolutely despise energy in games when they're used for the core experience. Like in Gems of War when you're using it for side modes or for competitive modes like Guild Wars, because by design, the limited battles makes it so it's competitive. But when you're using it for like every action needs energy, that's when it becomes a problem. Or if it's possible to reach a point where you literally can't do anything because of energy. Those are the absolute worst. Let's see, we did 4 and 2. And then we can move on. Yeah, pretty much everything in the future will be a live service. Like you're gonna take your automatic self-driving car that you don't own away from your rented out house to some other job where you go for another live service. Like it's basically just gonna be like a billion chains of live services. Where companies will basically just completely get rid of ownership and almost everything will just become a live service. Because it's cheaper to milk people over time for a lot of money than it is to just one time sell them a product. Like almost everything in existence will turn into a live service. Because they can make more money that way. By never actually selling a product, but by constantly basically renting out the product in a sense. For literally everything in existence. Let's see. 4 and 5. Actually, we don't need 4. That's a haste. We only need 5. What do we need here? Take a yellow. Because it makes it seem a lot cheaper if they could say, oh, it's only like $5 a month instead of selling it for like $200. But then you realize, like, after a long period of time, after you use it for like a decade, it's like, I'm out even more money than if it was just a single thing. But initially it seems cheaper, but in the long term it's more expensive. Fast food will become a live service. Let's see. Actually, flea markets used to have things where you could like buy it on a monthly or yearly basis, but it was normally cheaper to buy it a table one at a time when you actually needed them, because unless you were specifically doing it literally like every single day that they were open, it wasn't necessarily worth it. And because of weather as well, it could end up deterring your value of how much for the monthly or yearly thing would be. So it was normally just better to do it whenever you actually went, rather than getting the monthly or yearly pass to do so. Even though it was ultimately cheaper if you were doing it regularly. But due to weather and other conditions, and the fact that you normally wouldn't be doing it too regularly, or at least the way I did it, it wasn't necessarily as regular as some people would do it. But it just wasn't worth doing, compared to just getting it whenever you actually needed it, when the weather was nice. Anyways, we did that. That was the only room unless we want to take the haste, so let's move forward. Oh, what weapon are we using? Doom Scythe. You can use Nimbus Bow if you don't have it. If you don't have Nimbus Bow, you can use pretty much any good weapon. It doesn't really matter because it feeds weapon, mana to it automatically. The only reason I'm using Doom Scythe is because it's a Doom weapon against these Doom thingies, which makes it a little bit better compared to how it normally is. Not like it's not already pretty good to begin with normally. Just makes it a little bit better. And that should be a wipe. Also, any Doom weapon would work. I'm just using the yellow version because we already have Yellow Storm, so there's already going to be slightly more yellows on the board. Plus, once we get the initial mana, we don't really need the yellows anymore anyways. 5 and 4. Oh, are we going to hit top 22 today? Nice. From everyone doing Tower of Doom. Everyone's on that Tower of Doom grind. So much that we might take another position. We haven't been back in top 20 for a while. Who knows? Maybe we can reach back to top 10. I think we were at one point. We were number 1 in Guild War for the very first Guild Wars, as well as in the top 10 for quite a few of them. And I'm pretty sure the Guild overall trophies was in top 10 at the time too. Who knows? Maybe we'll reclaim it. Slowly. We have a bit of a mana issue right now. Okay, 17. We did that, and now we have 4. Hello, Tyrion! Welcome. What do we take here? Yeah, we're not against the Doom, are we? I was like, where are my 5 extra spawns? Not in this battle. Oh no, he's gonna get summoned. We got an Uber Doom skull and a billion other skulls as well. There's the unlock. That was the last room we needed, right? Other than Hastes, which we're skipping on. Let's move forward. Also, this will probably be the last battle we do for now. I got a Rat Raven too. And then we'll probably finish them on Wednesday, because Because tomorrow we'll probably do the faction and then mess with the new legend that we got this week. Definitely want to experiment around and hopefully cover a video this Thursday on it. Over teams for the new 50% Mana Star Dragon. I don't feel like it's going to be that good though. But testing, we'll see. I do not have high hopes in it, or high confidence in it, I should say. I do wish dragons were viable again. Dragons used to be meta way back in the day. Quite a few things have ruined it, which we've already explained. Mostly Submerge, but still a lot of other mechanics as well. And just the dragons that exist not being as good, especially the Mythics. But anyways, we did that. Let's go and let's go ahead at the code. I said we'll do it on a level, but we'll end it out now. Let me go get the code section. And let's clear out the dailies and go from there. Let me grab that. Click a save. And get you guys this code. Go to the code section so I can actually go claim it and get the link. Come on, load, computer, load. I know you're getting old. I still need you to load. This computer is now 8 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I got it back in 2013. Not the one I'm using right now, but the other one. Or side computer. Where to go? Alright, there you guys go. There's a redeem code to use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code will be found in your settings menu. Whatever game says right over here is where you put in for your invite code. Redeem code is right over there in chat. It's copy paste random numbers and letters starting with HN. And it gives the same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. And there you guys go. No usable on PC mobile version of the game. Alright, there you go. And you might want to save it for the next Mythic coming up in about 2 weeks from now. Where are we? Let's go clear out dailies real quick. Nothing too good, but a little bit of gems, a little bit of event keys, they add up. Also, don't forget to click your 10 weekly glory keys if you haven't already. Sorry, not glory, I mean event keys. You can get 10 event keys every single week for glory. They're 180 each, 1,800 for all 10 of them. And we've been having a lot of event weeks lately that have been eating a lot of those event keys. So good to restock some. I would say that's worth doing every single week. You used to be able to infinite buy it, but about a year and a half ago they made a 10 per week cap on it. Because how good a value it is. That's why we have so many event keys, if you're ever wondering. Because there used to not be a cap. However, we did have to buy them manually one at a time. So it's not like they were completely free. It took a lot of time to manually grab them one at a time. So it's still way cheaper to get event keys for 180 glory than it is to get it for 13.5 gems. So we're gonna keep streaming till we get that level. We're so close. Even though it's that close, it's probably like 30 battles because how slow that XP bar moves. I probably will be switching to Hiking Iron Gut. Probably when we go do the rest of the battles on Wednesday, we'll use Hiking Iron Gut. That was the other team for. We'll end up showing both. The Finesse one was mostly intended for people that need cheaper teams, but also for the lower range of the battles, which is of course what we're using them for. Once we complete out the rest, we'll likely be doing a Iron Gut. Because Finesse does slow the higher you go. It can run the whole thing if it really wanted to, though. But the deeper it goes, the slower it goes. Pretty much anything that isn't instant kills will have that issue, though. Since their durability keeps going higher, but your damage stays relatively the same or doesn't scale as quickly. Like even Tesla doesn't normally scale as quickly. You can see it scale quite a bit, but not all the way. But if anyone still has any other questions, anyone want me to go over, let me know. Yeah, the meta Dragon days were pretty fun. Like Dragon Soul, Christinex was a pretty fun team. You would never use it in the current state of the game, though. It's pretty underwhelming these days. But it was a pretty fun meta when Dragons used to be good. Yeah, it can be a bit of an issue if your Devour rate's a little low using High King Iron Gut, because you don't have as much of an attack buff in Tower of Doom. Like right now, I think we only have like 10 attack. Yeah, we're only getting 11 attack, maybe 12 by tomorrow. So, yeah, we don't get as much of a bonus compared to something like Delves, where you have a much, much higher attack. Like if we go to, let's say, this one, we'd have an attack bonus of 54, whereas that's obviously drastically different than 11. 54 is a way bigger number than 11, I am pretty sure. It's obviously not as much of a benefit compared to Delves, but still a benefit nonetheless. It's not like it's gaining 0 extra. Also, you can set your tokens to be, oh, did they fix the glitch? Place your bets now. Did they fix the glitch? Oh? Oh? Maybe I just used the wrong metal. I wonder if it has to be that special metal. It didn't glitch that time. Interesting. I wonder if they fixed it in the most recent patch. It wasn't in the patch notes. They mentioned they fixed a bunch of bugs. I wonder if that's actually fixed. We'll find out 2 Mondays from now. Because we need at least 1 event week. And then after that event week, we get tested to see if they have actually fixed it. But they might have fixed it. They actually fixed a bug. What is this madness? They never fix bugs. Anyways, let's see. Let's go and finish out these. We did that. We did that. We did that. Alright, let's go get our last level. Let's just go kill it real quick and I might just do Cinemirage. I want to get this level. And I'll probably call it a night. Get our Dust Devil out. We were already using this all last weekend, but ran out a little bit more to get this level. Oh, that's the team I wanted. But we could use that as well, it's fine. We'll go with this though. Yeah, Iron Gut can be a little scary in first slot without a high enough attack. You can do Barrier on it, but it's definitely risky doing first slot Iron Gut. I generally don't, but I did end up mentioning it for the video earlier today. It's normally safer to have something else in front of your Iron Gut and have your Iron Gut in second slot, especially in something like Tower of Doom, because you can let your first slot die and then have the Iron Gut with high stats. You can't do that in Delves, but you can do that in Tower of Doom. Strategically let your first slot die and then have your second slot Iron Gut do everything. Which, if you find your High King Iron Gut's dying too much, you can end up going down that route. Yeah, you don't necessarily need to use a new Dragon Troop in a an all Dragon team. It might just even be best just to use it with like Dragon Guard with the 50% Dragon and then like a burn and one other option, or even just use Zugaf as that burn. I used to actually use Dragon Guard instead of Slayer for that one team. Might need to try reincorporating that into a PvP team. I did eventually switch over to Slayer, because even though Dragon Guard's a bit more consistent, it's a bit slower because it doesn't have Enrage. However, in a PvP-like situation, I think we might bring it back. The old Zugaf team I used to run with Dragon Guard. Because now that we can half mana start to Dragon Guard, it's going to make it quite a bit better. Though probably not that needed. Because if you're only doing a 50% for one single troop, oh no, you would need a really good weapon to really get value out of it, compared to just using a natural half mana start hero class. The biggest issue with this new legend that has half mana Dragon Star is its abilities is so useless. It's like it doesn't even have an ability. At least things like Forest Guardian and Ishbala and stuff like that, they have like really solid abilities. Even the ones that aren't as good, like that one or Scale one, like at least the synergy ends up working out. But this thing does quite literally nothing. If you have no troop slots empty, and you have none of that Dragon Spirit on your team, it'll quite literally do nothing. It doesn't summon anything, it doesn't explode anything. You're literally just using 14 mana to do nothing. Not even something that seems like nothing, just literally the absolutely nothing. It just doesn't do anything. Because it can't summon, and it won't explode. Which are the two things it's supposed to do, which won't do neither. It's just a really weird ability. I'm not sure why it doesn't have like some kind of third effect or something on it. Yeah, I would even take just an AoE. If a billion dragons have it, might as well give it to him as well. Any advantage or reason why you would want to ascend any of the treasure? No. At least not currently. Unless they eventually add a Vault Kingdom, which could potentially happen next patch. However, as it currently stands, there is no point whatsoever to upgrade treasure. Anyone who has treasure upgraded only upgraded a treasure because they have so many resources that they didn't really know what to do with them. So they figured, might as well upgrade the treasure. But no, there is absolutely no benefit whatsoever in upgrading treasure. Some people just do it for completionist sake, just so they have more max troops, which doesn't actually matter for anything, but you know, it shows that they're maxed and everything. Nope, they're very pointless to upgrade. What bug was that? Which bug? The one I was talking about with the metals? There's a weird glitch with metals that they might have fixed, where basically the issue that happened, always in the purple, just because I do. There's no real reason, just because we always have, we just keep doing it. But there used to be a glitch where the seasonal metals, the one that happens every single week, those spots become empty. And whenever you would put a token there, it would kind of glitch out the other token that was still there and glitch out the graphic for it. However, it's either fixed or you have to use the other seasonal metals on top of the seasonal metal slot for it to work. So we'll find out in 2 weeks from now if it's still glitched. 2 Mondays from now. But they might have fixed it. There is a small chance that was one of multiple bugs they fixed. Which wasn't really that big a deal, but that'd be nice if it did. It was just a visual glitch only. It didn't affect anything. It's not like you lost metals or anything. That would have been a really bad glitch if it did. But no, it was purely visual. Like many glitches within the game. I wonder if they ever fix that lifesteal issue. Whenever you kill something with Iron Gut lifesteal or Yagway lifesteal or literally any troop that has lifesteal as a perk on its traits, it would lag the game for about an extra second or two. I'm not sure if they fixed that yet. I haven't bothered testing. We'll find out when we, probably during Tower of Doom when we accidentally kill something with lifesteal. See if that glitch is still in the game. I'm pretty sure it is. It's been in here for ages and they never got around to fixing it. But anyways, guys, we'll call it a night for now. Thank you all so much for stopping by. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time as always. 1 hour prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll mostly be doing the Fangmore faction event, as well as probably messing with the new Legends that came out today. That's in the event queue drop table for the next 6 days, if you still want to go pick it up. It does seem a little underwhelming, but there's probably some synergies out there with 50% dragons that can get it rolling, particularly given that Dragon Guard's a pretty good hero class, and there's still a couple of dragons that aren't completely horrible in the current state of the game. Yes, Dragon Guard and Slayer are generally some of the better hero classes for Zugoff. Normally you use Slayer because it's better overall damage, but Dragon Guard is a lot tankier while still having a really high amount of damage. You also get the spell for it, so if they're doing like barrier spam, you have counter to it, as well as any other positive stats effects. So barrier is obviously the main one. Normally that's not as big of a deal if you're doing Explore, but might be more of a deal if you're doing PvP, due to how much more common barrier would be in PvP compared to Explore battles. Dragon Guard is definitely overall better for PvP compared to Slayer, but Slayer is quicker, so you generally use it for farming, like when in Explore. But it still has its, they both have their distinct uses. But anyways, guys, we'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by, and enjoy your week. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.